In 1692, a quiet town in Massachusetts became a place of fear and suspicion, a place where whispers could kill and shadows seemed to hide unseen terrors. People began pointing fingers at their neighbors, accusing them of witchcraft, of making deals with the devil, and of bringing curses upon the town. What started as a few strange symptoms in young girls quickly turned into a wave of terror that swept through Salem. The question that lingers even today is haunting. Were these events caused by lies, by some hidden poison, or by a darkness that no one could explain? Imagine walking through a foggy village, where every glance hides suspicion, where every cough or tremor is a sign of evil, and every smile might conceal malice. That was the world of Salem, a world where fear could make people see ghosts in the faces of their friends. Streets that once echoed with the laughter of children now carried the whispers of terror, and every window seemed to watch, judging and accusing. The Salem Witch Trials did not happen in a vacuum. They were born in a community tightly bound by strict religious rules, where every action was watched and judged. The people of Salem believed that the devil could be anywhere, waiting to corrupt the innocent. Life was harsh and the pressure to conform was suffocating. Families lived close together, and privacy was almost impossible. Even a small misstep, a word spoken in anger, or a moment of rebellion could be twisted into evidence of evil. In such an environment, even the smallest strange event could spiral into something terrifying. A child might scream without reason, a cow might die unexpectedly, or a neighbor might fall ill, and suddenly the town would demand answers. Fingers would point, whispers would spread, and soon the walls of every home seemed to hold secrets and dangers. The fear became contagious, infecting the minds of young and old alike, turning ordinary life into a nightmare. In the dead of night, the forest surrounding Salem seemed alive with unseen eyes, and the wind carried faint cries that no one could place. Some of the most chilling accounts come from the symptoms the victims displayed. People would writhe, scream, and fall into trances with no clear cause. Some claimed to see invisible spirits, to feel claws scratching their skin, or to hear voices that no one else could hear. Modern scientists have suggested that some of these behaviors might have been caused by ergot, a fungus that grows on rye and can cause hallucinations and convulsions. Others think it may have been epilepsy or mass hysteria, a phenomenon where fear spreads like a disease and bodies begin to act out the terror in the mind. But to the people of Salem, there was no science to explain these events, only evil that had to be punished. Imagine the town's taverns and homes, candlelight flickering across the walls, people speaking in hushed tones about the signs of the devil, and shadows seeming to move on their own. The normal rhythms of life were replaced by constant vigilance, and every knock on a door could carry dread. Yet fear alone does not tell the whole story. Many of the accusations were fueled by personal grudges, jealousy, and greed. Land disputes, old arguments, and rivalries suddenly became deadly weapons. A neighbor could accuse another of witchcraft simply to claim their property or to settle a score that had lasted for years. Confessions were extracted under immense pressure, some given out of terror rather than truth. These confessions only fanned the flames, making the town believe that evil was everywhere. Imagine the courtroom with people trembling, tears streaming, eyes darting around looking for signs of the devil's work. Shadows flickered across the walls as candles trembled, reflecting the panic that gripped the hearts of all who entered. And outside, the wind whistled through the skeletal trees, carrying the cries of the accused and the murmurs of the fearful crowd. Each accusation seemed to echo endlessly, a dark rhythm that the town could not escape. As the hysteria grew, it became almost impossible to tell reality from illusion. Ordinary events were twisted into signs of witchcraft. Illnesses were attributed to curses, accidents to malice, and dreams to dark forces. People were afraid to leave their homes, afraid to speak freely, afraid that any thought could be used against them. The community was trapped in a cycle of fear, accusation, and death. Innocent people were hanged, jailed, or forced to confess crimes they did not commit. Families were torn apart, and the very foundations of the town shook under the weight of suspicion. The darkness seemed unstoppable, creeping through every home, every street, every mind. The forest, once a place of beauty and life, now felt like a living entity, harboring secrets and unseen horrors that no one dared to confront. Even the animals seemed restless, their cries echoing through the night, a warning that something unnatural was unfolding. Looking back, we can try to understand Salem through modern eyes. The strange symptoms may have had medical explanations, the accusations may have been motivated by greed, and the paranoia may have been amplified by religion and isolation. Yet, even knowing this, the events of Salem leave a lingering unease. There's something about the way fear spreads, how humans can turn on one another, and how a single spark can ignite a wildfire of terror that feels almost supernatural. The faces of those who suffered stare out from history, reminding us of the fragile line between truth and fear, reality and imagination. One can almost see the cold, stone walls of the jail where the accused were kept, feel the chill in the air, hear the footsteps of guards echoing ominously, and sense the despair that hung over every cell. Even centuries later, walking through Salem or reading its history can send shivers down the spine. The echoes of those terrified voices, the shadows of those innocent lives lost, and the mysteries of what truly caused the hysteria remain with us. Were these events the result of lies, the hidden effects of poison, or a darkness too profound for words? Perhaps it was all of these things, intertwined in a story that continues to haunt the human imagination. The tale of Salem is not just a history lesson. It is a warning. It reminds us how quickly fear can consume a community, how easily people can be manipulated by shadows, and how darkness can hide behind the most ordinary faces. In the quiet hours of night, when the wind moves the trees just so, one can almost hear the cries of those who suffered, a reminder that the past never truly leaves. The Salem Witch Trials are more than old tales from a small village. They are a reflection of the human mind, the fragility of society, and the dangers of letting suspicion and fear dictate our actions. They challenge us to question what we see, to seek truth even in the face of overwhelming panic, and to remember that the darkness we fear may sometimes come from within ourselves. As the fog rolls over the forests and the old houses of Salem, we are left with a haunting silence, a reminder that history can be both a teacher and a ghost, whispering secrets we may never fully understand. And so, the question remains, was it lies, poison, or the darkness that truly claimed Salem? Perhaps we will never know, but the shadows of that time will continue to stir the imagination, inviting us to peer into the unknown, to feel the chill, and to wonder what lurks just beyond the candlelight. For those who listen carefully, who walk through the town at dusk, and who pay attention to the whispers of history, Salem still speaks, telling a story of fear, of human weakness, and of mysteries that may never be solved.